So I'm actually on my way to pick up a friend's Camaro that I started 12 years ago. I put a motor together for it, and we got it in, we fired it up, and that was about it. And life kind of happened. He got busy, I got busy, and now it's sat in the garage for 12 years. Nothing's been touched. The whole shop's kind of like a time capsule being in there. And earlier this year, he asked me if I should say last year, he asked me if I was interested in getting it going again. So I'm on my way there to pick it up so we can get it to the shop. We're gonna have a lot of work to do. Hopefully everything's still good and it turns over nice and easy. So after 12 years of sitting, we'll see how quick we can get it going and tuned. Yeah, you turn, line it back up. Other way. And straight. That's not straight. You blind? I hope you can get out the door. Perfect. Got it set up on the hoist. I haven't even been underneath the car yet. We went and picked this up this morning. Basically, we showed up and it was still in jack stands where we left it 12 years ago. Loaded down on the ground, all the tires are flat, the suspension's all loose on it. I haven't even got a chance to take a look at it. So you guys are gonna see it for the first time with me as we take a peek of what we need to do to get it back on the ground where we can hopefully drive it out of the shop. He did a nice job painting the sway bar and all the suspension control arms. I like when I get cars like this, nice and clean on the bottom. And the transmission's bolted in. Torque arm is not bolted in. Control arms are tight. At least we pulled it up on the trailer halfway safe. Sway bar brackets are not on. They need to be bolted back up. I think we're gonna need to find a cover. Don't know how much is in there. We're gonna have to drain that. Hopefully we don't have to pull it out. We'll see what it looks like on the top side if someone did the trapdoor mod. Otherwise, we'll have to hang the rear end down and yeah, drain all the gas. We'll just start with the suspension, get the suspension tidied up, then we'll move to draining the gas tank. I originally said I was gonna start with the brakes, but we'll start with the gas, I think. God, I hope. Nope. That kind of sucks, but I'm nice to see it's not cut up. Moment of truth. Oh God, I can smell it already. Oh, that's awful. Yeah, that's freaking terrible. That's impressive. I gotta look one more time. I guess the tank's gonna have to come out of it. Fantastic. Back up we go. Nice thing about this is the torque arm's not hooked up and sway bar's not hooked up. We really should just have to unbolt the shocks and swing it down to get the tank out. I can still smell that gas down here. The cap's even back on it. That is wild. Man, I do not remember those being that big. That's what she said. Oh, this is going to be sketchy. Sometimes we got to go backwards a little bit before we move forward. Wrong. Be a little rusty at this. Either that, someone put all the wrong bolts in it. Joey. This is going to get sketchy in a second. So the right thing to do would be to put a tranny jack underneath of it. Ow, that was my finger. You know, if I just go grab that transmission jack, my life would be a lot easier. Got it. Now be lazy and get the transmission jack. Coil springs out of here. We're gonna pivot this around just like that. Woo! Pucker factor 9,000. Let it swing down. All for a gas tank. That's all right. Definitely just caught that with my wrist. Get these gas lines detached. Oh, this is gonna be gross. I already know it. The worst part about this is like, once you get old gas on your hands, like, there's no going back. Hey, you're just gonna smell like that forever. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh, that is ripe. I don't think I can literally explain to you how bad this gas smells right now. The reason why I decided to do the fuel stuff before any of the suspension is obviously the rear end had to come out. So it didn't make sense to do the brakes and the calipers, putting backing plates on the rear end, hook up the sway bars when I was just gonna have to undo it all just to take this tank out anyways. I think we're just gonna send this. I was gonna put the jack underneath of it, but I mean, I got a case of the dropsies. Oh. Ah, caught it. There's probably just a few gallons in there. Oh gosh. Woo. Let's pull this thing out. I have never had one this stuck. Oh my gosh, there we go. Oh man. Oh boy. Well. Oh God. Look at this pump. This stuff's just coming apart. It hose is just deteriorated. That's bad. Look at my fingers. I think we're gonna have to put a pump in this bad boy. You see all that? That's just all varnish and crap in the bottom of the tank. Makes a big difference when you go the right direction. Prop this bad boy up. You know what sounds like a good idea? A top post battery on a metal frame with gasoline. I think the battery is junk, I hope. I just got to show you guys how nasty this is as it's coming out. Luckily, there's only a few gallons in it, I think. So a lot of people use the little rubber injection hose that comes through like this. So a lot of people use this rubber stuff. Well, if you've seen what it actually did to the last fuel injection line that went in there, completely deteriorated it just down to the nylon. We're not going to use any rubber hose inside. They do make new ones like this that'll fit, and it's more of a straight up fit. I like to use the stock one. What I usually do is I trim off the end that was swollen to the larger pump, and then when it's narrowed down that thin slice, I will heat it up and push it over the new pump. You can see how nice it's gone all the way up on that pump. And tighten this hose clamp. Technically, you shouldn't need a hose clamp if it's a barbed pump. This pump did not have a barb on it, so we're going to use a nice little hose clamp. I did test the other pump, this Holley HP that came out of it, and it was bad. I just rigged up two spade terminal connectors for it that look like that. I hooked each spade on it, put power to it. It clicked on and it started smoking in my hands, so that's definitely no good. Okay, we are ready to put it back in the tank as soon as we put our strainer on. Nut started, perfect. Should we be able to raise it back up? So in the meantime, we're just going to continue cleaning up the fuel injection system on it and all the fuel system throughout. So the goal now is to pull these injectors out, clean them, then we're going to go ahead and remove the filter, blow out the lines, and reassemble it so all that's nice and clean for the first fire up. Now you just got to pull off these quick disconnect lines. Pull the fuel rail off. Bench is a little bit messy, but let's go ahead and pull these out. The actual rail itself is very, very clean on the inside. That's really good to see. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flow all these backwards, and I'm going to flush the screens out for any of that varnish that's been sitting on them. We're reverse flushing these injectors, and what you can see right now is I have 3 of these first 4, and they're reverse flushing, and this 4th one is stuck. So we're going to tap on it, hopefully get it to loosen up. After tapping it, you can see we got it unstuck. It's not flowing quite as good. We're going to let it flush like that a little bit, and then after we get it running a couple times, we'll flip them over. We'll run them through some tests, make sure that it's flowing equal to the other ones. Now I flipped them over, and we're just going to take them through a accelerating test and see how they flow. 26, 26, 26, and 26. So we are looking good on that, on those 4. We'll take these 4 out, and we'll go ahead and continue on to the next 4. So once again, we got one that's a little stuck. And number 3, it's starting to go, but there we go. That kind of sucks, as I was putting it in fuel regulator line. Our vacuum line broke in too, so we'll replace that in a bit. So fuel rail has been off. We've flushed the injectors, flowed them, they're all equal, they're all working. Fuel rail's back on, everything's tightened up, fuel lines are back attached. So what we're gonna do now is raise it back up. We're gonna change the fuel filter. So I had a new fuel filter on it, but that was 12 years ago. And I am just not really gonna trust what's in that thing right now. I think I'm going to lower it back down and just blow the lines back out, because both the return and the feed are unhooked right now. I can just unhook them at the rail again, at the back step, and blow them out just to make sure I get everything out. Now I'll get this new fuel filter on. So tidying up, putting the fuel system in. The last thing I really got to do to it, get this tank nicely painted, and from pulling the pump out, I got a little bit scratched up. We're gonna cover it with a heat shield anyways, but he had it looking nice, so we'll throw some good high temp paint on there and make it look just as nice again. Perfect. I think this is where I'm gonna end this video. I'm gonna do a 2 or 3 video series on this, just be a little mini series, only because it's been a lot of fun for me to get this car going since it's been sitting so long. The next video will probably be over the suspension and hooking up the exhaust and the brakes. In the 3rd video, I'll be loading the base tune in and firing it up for the first time in 12 years. So please like, comment, and subscribe below. If you have any questions on the build or the engine combination or even the history of the car, I'll answer them below, and even maybe do a short video on the history of the car.